Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and one of the giant advantages that Unreal has over Unity is Unreal uses a percentage-based cost model. That means they never have to have price increases. Doesn't work that way for the Unity game engine, and today we have one of those price adjustments. Now, this is nowhere near as bad as you may recall back in September of 2023. They decided to try and raise the price by charging a percentage based on the runtime on top of the subscription model. That did not go over well. And then pretty much a year to the date of that, back in September 12th, 2024, they had their last price increase. So that's where they went with this. Straightforward price increase. They also changed the amount that you got. So it was basically an 8% price increase for Unity Pro back in 2024. Now in 2025, we have another price increase, a little bit over a year from there. It's not as bad as the 8%, but we do have a subscription price change for Unity pricing. So changes to subscription plans in 2026. They will be making an adjustment to Unity pricing and packaging in line with last year's commitment to predictable annual price adjustments. Unity Pro and Enterprise will see a 5% increase starting January the 12th, 2026. Unity Pro, Enterprise, and Industry plans on 6.3 LTS will no longer include Havok physics for Unity. Later in 2026, all plans will expand free access to Unity DevOps functionality. So the key facts of this change: Unity Pro and Enterprise, if you are an existing subscriber, your price will update at your next renewal date on or after January the 12th, 2026. Final amounts will vary by region due to local taxes, currencies, and rounding, and will be shown at checkout or in your quote. For DevOps, coming in Q1 of 2026, we will be removing seat charges for Unity version control hosted in their public cloud. We're expanding the free tier of cloud pay-as-you-go features to 25 gigabytes of storage, up from 5 gigabytes, and adding 100 Mac build minutes for Unity build automation and 100 gigabytes of free egress. And then Havok physics for Unity, starting with Unity 6.3. Havok physics will no longer be included with Pro, Enterprise, or Industry. Havok physics for Unity remains supported for the remainder of the Unity 2022 and Unity 6 LTS cycles. So we have those changes there. So what changes are happening in regard to the version control and the build automation? Unity will institute changes in 2026 to make the free tiers for Unity version control, which is plastic SCM they bought several years back, and Unity build automation more generous. Unity is changing these plans to allow you to build for iOS on their free tier of build automation with 100 Mac build minutes on top of the 200 build minutes they already include for free when building for Windows, plus 25 gigabytes of storage, up from 5 gigabytes, and 100 gigabytes of free egress. Additionally, there will no longer be charges on Unity version control seats for the public cloud. Well, we expect these changes to go into effect by the end of Q1 2026. Now, if you're curious, what exactly is DevOps? Well, it was the two things they mentioned. Version control, which is based off of the plastic SCM technology. Think of this as like Git, but kind of more designed specifically for game and game assets. And then on top of that, we have the Unity build automation tools, which is for doing constant builds, tests, and such builds for you. I think potentially with that Mac builds, you could make Mac builds without actually having a Mac machine available. So there definitely could be some value there. I know a lot of people have struggled for incorporating Mac into their pipeline just because they simply don't have access to the hardware. All right, so that is the DevOps side of things. The other thing we have is the Havok physics for Unity. So is Havok physics for Unity still included with Unity Pro and Enterprise seats? And no. Starting with Unity 6.3 LTS, so if you still want to get a hold of it, Microsoft Havok Team can continue. It doesn't actually say will continue, but can continue to offer an integration of Havok physics for Unity as a regular third-party extension publisher. From that point onward, requests regarding availability, roadmap pricing, and support for Havok physics for Unity should be directed to the Microsoft Havok Team. So it seems like that relationship is just going away, so you're not going to get Havok physics for Unity any further. And then not really any other real major changes there. So at the end of the day, what this mostly boils down to is this announcement right here. So you're looking, if you're a Pro or Enterprise subscriber, Pro is going to see a 5% increase. That's it. So again, this is one of the tragic downsides of having a subscription cost as opposed to, again, a royalty-based cost. Royalties scale up with everything, so you never really have increases. 5% is 5% and remains 5%. Whereas if you're charging X amount per seat, which I think right now it's $200 for a pro license, and you need to make more money, you got to increase the seat costs. And that's what this is. Let me know what you think. Again, it's pretty straightforward news. There's nothing idiotic like a runtime fee in here. It's just an annual price increase. And I think the price of everything has gone up, so I think we're all getting kind of used to that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think. Unity, new price increase, 5% across the board. Losing Havok, it sounds like it's kind of just being discontinued as a partnership. And you're getting a bunch of DevOps stuff that you may or may not care about. All right, that's it. I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.